I do believe things are heating up quite a bit in favor of Mega, which is good news for them. A decent amount of kills start things out with the Pudo starting on the Tracer, as we sort of mentioned. That's going to be an easy cleanup here. Going to collect the first cap. I will also mention that for Mega, the Oasis start, the Control start has always been their best map. Despite not really winning it that often, this is their best start.
Oh, they're going to push Mushroom out here, who's lost his mech, and they're hoping to just maybe damage boost a couple of light gun shots to get him back into that mech up to 70% now. If he doesn't get that, it's going to be tough because they will be won't be able to soak up any Widowmaker shots pulling through. Maybe even the maybe even be able to catch that defense matrix onto TYG's Pulse Bomb.
TYG's Pulse Bomb is the play here that has to be made because he's got the first ultimate of the game. The first ultimate of the game is pretty swingy. That's a stick.
Boom.
Collects Pichu, then gets Rocket on the back end as well. Double supports down on the Mega side of things. And it's up to the DPS and the tank players to try and equalize. But so far, there's no equalization. There's no more kills coming out from Mega. All the kills are coming out from Talon, and they should swap the point over.
Yeah, and this is not what you usually see on Gardens. This is usually a point where you can really consolidate your control of it, make the point yours, make a home there, but it's not to be for Mega this time, giving it up to 44% a week here. You see him in a tricky position, just trying to grab an early kill on the Widowmaker, and it could be, it doesn't look like it's going to be NZNR who's going around the other side now.
It's a hot real estate market in Oasis right now, and for Mega, at least they're getting some of these ultimates coming through on their end. Pulse Bomb available for a Pudo. TYG already doing the damage, though both Zenyatta's going to fall over. But it's Haru with the Valkyrie right now. It's Talon with the majority of the remaining ultimates. That's a nice stick. Doesn't quite click the kill. Does force out a Primal Rage from both Winstons, I might add. But it is Talon collecting all the kills. Mega, a good effort, but not good enough to get them to the point.
No, now Talon will tie up the percentages a week. He's got that Infrasight and he wants to squeeze every little bit of juice out of it. Doesn't find an extra kill though, so he will push back. We do have Gogora here who's got the tank ultimate ready to go. The self-destruct could spell disaster for Mega if they're not ready for it.
I do also want to point out the positioning here. You saw Villanyo hiding outside scouting for his team. Transcendence available as well. That's that self-destruct we were talking about earlier. It's TYG again making such huge plays. Double support kills. Despando's a support hunter, and he's been making his mark known for so long. TYG attempted the Pulse Bomb. I do believe that was eaten up by Mushroom crucially, but a small victory for Mega on that end, but a huge loss otherwise because TYG has been running through Mega's lineup.
And NZNR, he now switches off to the Widowmaker. He's going to have to come in here and get a quick pick or two if they really want to push through here on Talon Esports. It's going to be hard to do it with Villanyo stuffing the choke there, just full of that Winston.
Down goes the Pudo.
Yeah, that's one pick, so he's managed to get that, and the self-destruct not going to do anything, so now Mega trying to get in there with a Transcendence. This
will be the final opportunity as well. Note that it's 99% for Talon Esports, and a weak takes down NZNR Gogora onto T-Watt. Where are the counter trades coming up from Mega? Where are the kills that Mega need? There's one. Mega need more than one right now. The Pudo needs a lot with this Pulse Bomb. TYG about to come up on his own Pulse Bomb. Now on the hunt for a Pudo, the final remaining member. The last stand, the vanguard of Mega to try and keep them in the game, and it will not be enough.
So despite NZNR swapping to that Widowmaker and really proving that it was the right choice by getting a couple of kills there. Even you saw him get a headshot onto the Tracer at the end, but he couldn't quite charge the shot enough to damage the Tracer, to kill the Tracer, to confirm that kill. So unfortunately, the rest of Mega don't really follow up on NZNR's good work, and it's all the way of Talon Esports here.
It seems like for Mega, aside from that opening fight of the game that they won, every other fight was them catching up to the damage that had already been done by TYG on the Tracer. Every time TYG is active, one support is down, if not both the supports of Mega. That's been a huge issue, and Mega have been continuously trying to put out fires while trying to get counter trades, and it's been too much work for them to do.
So they're not comfortable playing the Pharah here on probably one of the better maps here on City Centre. NZNR is going to stick on that Widow, perhaps feeling a little confident after how he went on Gardens.
What I can say with quite certainty right now is TYG is having a hell of a game. Pudo is trying to match them, both Zenyatta's down again. Pudo will go down to a week, and the reason you may not see a Pharah here is if TYG is playing out of his mind, which he is, why swap him off the Tracer? And if you're concerned about the fire on the other side, then keep a weak onto the Widowmaker. So both teams having very similar thoughts about how to proceed through this game, but still TYG is doing too much damage.
Yeah, he's just been an absolute monster right now. You see them
look at that
grouping up together. He's almost up to the next Pulse Bomb, and here we go. Oh, even almost one clips Apudo, forcing the recall almost immediately.
At least Inzana does get this first Infra Sight. It should have some effect on the other side. Kills a week before he gets to pop his own. Now Mega with a 6v5, now a 6v6 again, courtesy of the res from Haru. Infra Sight coming out the opposite end. Inzana, nice headshot into Gagora, but it is now another Mega support down for the count. 32% and counting up for Talon Esports. You're still just waiting to see the response from Mega, and it still just seems like Mega getting some sort of lead, losing that lead, and then failing to catch up to Talon again.
Yeah, I mean, if they get any sort of lead so far...
First place, right?
It's, yeah, the couple of times there has been picks from NZNR, but no follow-up. Just not able to capitalize on that, whereas TYG, his team is helping him out in spades there. We see yet another Pulse Bomb ready to go. Apudo, 1v1 versus TYG, was definitely on the poorer end of that. They don't spot him, and almost gets the stick on the Mercy.
The good news is, though, Mega do survive that engagement with TYG this time around. The better news is they have a lot of ultimates to play with. Talon have been spending this entire time. TYG doesn't care, though. Look at that. Pichu down, Inzana down,
oh, no.
Rocket down. Mega don't even have supports. It's like they haven't had supports this entire game. It's barely even their fault, but it's just so hard to consider this scenario. It is seemingly insurmountable for Mega right now.
The tank line of Mega, they ring the support line, and all they hear is a dial tone AVRL. Nothing coming through for them here. Talon Esports looking fantastic on control, and only moments away, perhaps, from taking Oasis. One more push from Mega. They will come in here. Just managed to cap the point. Push the overtime there with the Tracer.
Well, that is a nice double kill from Mushroom, though, and right now for Mega Esports, a dial tone would be better than a tone that you'd hear on the heartbeat monitor. Just a flat tone would not be what Mega are looking for by themselves. An extra heartbeat now staying in this game. Talon Esports, though, ultimate advantage coming into play for the next fight. But Mushroom there really opened up things big for Mega.
Oh, the defibrillators, just save it in time there. Mega brought back to life by that great self-destruct from Mushroom. Talon Esports now, they've only got one more fight to win before they take this one out. And honestly, with the way these other ones go,
oh, that's a play.
It doesn't seem like long. TYG, aerial delivery.
Yep, I like it. Fast as well, fast and effective and accurate. Right on time to Inzana's doorstep, and that's not where he wanted it. Mega Esports now, Pichu shouldn't be dying this time. He does have a Transcendence, and it'll be awkward for him to lose that. Rocket needs to stay alive as well. Valkyrie available. Now comes the support ultimate into play. Tidort's already down, though. We would like to see a res come into play, but it may be too late because too many members are going down. Rocket Valks, Rocket dies. Talon get the kills. Talon about to finish the map. This is a 2-0 on Oasis Mega. We're barely there, and that's an unfortunate thing to say.
Well, barely there. I mean, TYG, look at that. Pichu couldn't even see him, just blinking around and doing so much damage without even being spotted. This guy is just on a tear, and, you know, he deserves the player of the game here.
It's almost like which player of the game are you looking for? That was just dirty, dirty plays from him all around, and I think it really started out with Gardens, right? First ultimate of the game, gets a stick onto Pichu, cleans up old Rocket straight after that by himself. And he's just having a lot of free time with the supports. They're just a very, very good 1v2 for him that he's very keen to take on and has very consistently been able to convert on as well.
Yeah, it's just so hard to do anything when a Tracer is dominating you like that. And I mean, maybe there should have been a switch to the Brigida comp. Maybe they really needed to change it up because they stuck on something for quite a while there.
Then they're stuck on Brigida though. It's still not ideal. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like there's anything ideal for Mega, except for, I don't know, protect your supports better, have better supports need to defend themselves better. Apudo needs to do a similar thing on the other side, and I don't want to put the responsibility onto him, but because he tried, look, he did get opposite trades. Many times we saw both Zens die at the same time. Apudo gets a kill, TYG gets a kill. but it's Mega that do not proceed to get following kills, and it's Talon that get all the following kills.
Yeah, because it feels like at that point, you know, the peel is there. Apuda might have to use the recall. He might have to fall back to his heal, go find a pack somewhere. Whereas TYG, I mean, maybe he got a little bit more of the Harmony Orb. We did see that on him quite a bit. So maybe that's allowing him to stick in the back lines for a little bit longer and get that second support kill. You know, not just the first one on the Zenyatta, but he's going to follow up on the Mercy as well. Then they're going to hunt down the tanks, and it's just dominoes from there.
Good news for Mega is going into the further maps, you're probably going to see a lot less Tracer. The bad news is I expect TYG to potentially be subbed out for Bazzi, and that's a scary prospect when TYG was probably the best player for Talon in this map. The fact that you're now going to have to sub him out because you're not looking to play Tracer. That being said, I do want to say that TYG has other picks, but this is also where you're likely to see Bazzi come in to support a week going into map number 2, which is going to end up being King's Row. Now, for Mega, that can be rested on their minds to not deal with that on the back line, but I think Talon just have other resources to use here that are going to still be difficult.
Yeah, because obviously Tracer is not an ideal pick at the moment on King's Row.
Especially King's Row.
Don't see it very often. It's just too vulnerable to you know, getting halted, running into a Junkrat mine. When you're trying to creep around the back, you don't know. There's a trap there. Is there a grenade? Damage boosted by the Mercy, you know, that'll see you go down in one shot. It's an ugly place to be as a Tracer. You just can't really access that high ground.
And it's just not really ideal for the current meta, which is more double sniper, and there's no room for a Tracer in a double sniper meta.
And at this level, it doesn't matter how small your body is as Tracer, they're still going to find your head.
Our body shot will even do. That's difficult. That's a sad thing. But again, so that aside, Mega don't need to worry about that, or at least shouldn't. And we'll have that confirmed once we see the lineups in terms of what Talon will exactly run. And that should give both the viewers, give us, and also give Mega a lot of indication in terms of what we can expect. And I was right about Bazzi, but TYG is going to stay on here. And it's actually going to be a week out.
Ooh, now this. Are they going to stay on this, really? They're going to NZNR on the May? Could we find that kind of composition where you're looking to cut them off at the
We are. Because this is potentially huge big brain plays if
anti-Bastion.
If Talon Esports actually going to play this Bastion. Then NZNR with this May pick will have made the most insane compositional prediction ever. Maybe.
And they're obviously sticking with it. You can see he's ready there to go with the wall. This isn't some, you know, boost someone up onto an odd place, you know, get someone into the middle statue or something like that and then run back to spawn. He is going to stay on this pick. And we're just going to have to see. No, they obviously haven't spotted it out. These guys haven't peeked out, so there's been no information given away just yet. But they're just
so close.
Looks like they're
It was so close to being
the
perfect.
viewers.
And now, you know, the May doesn't quite feel as good versus Dive. I mean, who cares about an ice wall? Everyone's going to jump over. But what Mega can do here is Inza can maybe find a kill here. Yes, he's going to be able to freeze TYG up. You'd expect that this one's going to be a free kill. You're not going to get a res on that guy either because there's too many Mega members available. And suddenly a 6v5, Talon Esports have to carefully navigate the rest of this point.
And the Diva as well. Goes down easily to the May. They're even going to lock off the escape. Might even freeze her as well. But no, Tidort's a little bit too bloodthirsty for that. They don't manage. Either way, the May makes that work. Some nice dodging. Just getting out of the way of those Storm Arrows.
And I do want to say, because we are on patch 1.24, what is available is May can pierce through targets. What is not available
freeze
is
multiple people.
May does not have infinite damage range at the moment. No. Not quite there. And Zanar's going to try and make this May work anyway, but Talon Esports have wisened up to that defense. They've played for the flank, they're playing verticality, and unfortunately for Mega, well, a May's great, we can surprise the other team, a May's great, we can cut off a player, but again, Dive just doesn't care about an ice wall.
Nope, you got a Rhine there, it's so easy to cut the team in half, maybe just cut the Rhine off and leave the Snake without a head, but Dive is a Hydra, and it will pop up in many different ways there, so they may. It doesn't quite work out. Are they going to stick on it? The Blizzard, I've got to say, on this second point is an incredible ultimate.
And I will say the May slightly works better on the second point because of how narrow the street space is. And Insona's going to make the icicle work onto Baz. He gets a headshot onto Haru as well. Suddenly things look a little bit dire for Talon Esports. Persia could still commit here if he'd like to, but also Talon, because the card has barely moved out of the spawn section, they're kind of happy to just give this one away for the time being. They just lose a bit of time, but it's not too big of a loss.
Okay, so at this point, the Mei wall is so great. You can shock up that little choke there. Also, the Blizzard will do the same thing, but you've got to watch out from stuff from behind like this. We see the self-destruct come in, and that's they don't die to that, but they will go down to the flanks from TYG and Bazzi.
Here's another problem with running on the Mei is Dai, for the most part, doesn't care about Blizzard. Bazzi doesn't care. Haru flies with Bazzi, also doesn't care. Kagura, Villeneuve can just kind of leap or fly or jump out of the way. Same with TYG on the Hanzo. The only member that you can really nail down with Blizzard is Persia on the Zen, and that didn't even happen. So Talon Esports just perfectly, I guess, but Talon either way has perfectly navigated away from Blizzard. Inzanano is not, he's not done. It's very persistent with this pick.
Yeah, they really believe in it, and they're giving him the damage boost as well. Of course, that's going to make those icicle headshots do a lot of damage. He
did get kills with the icicles, including a headshot, so that you'll give to him, that you'll say has been at least somewhat effective. And you'll say the cryo freeze here has been effective to at least save his own life against the Dragon Strike from TYG. But right now, Mega need more than just safety. They need kills. Apudo gets shut down mid-Dragon Blade by Bazzi, who's now going to use the Rocket Barrage. So far, not finding any of his own kills. Pichu down to Villeneuve, and Mega, despite not really getting affected in the most part by the either the Dragon Strike or the Rocket Barrage, because they're not getting return kills, Talon just pick up all the trades instead, and I mean, Mega get left with nothing.
But yeah, you saw Mushroom, he didn't have any defense matrix left there, and that just meant that the Mega team had to scatter to try and get away from that barrage, despite how much damage it would have done. It nets them the second point, and Apudo is set up here, just trying to get an early pick. They need it so badly. NZNR once again trying to flank. He's got a nice ice wall there, but it doesn't really... okay, no, I take it back.
Well, the problem is, I mean, it's going to come out, it's going to go into the only man that can logically freeze in there. But even then, like you said, the trance comes out, so Persia not going to be phased by that Blizzard. No one else is even there, and NZNR gets headshotted out of the way. Finally is going to get forced to change onto a Hanzo. You can take a deep breath now, I guess, or you can finally start breathing. And for Talon Esports, 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, card still pushing. Mega need to activate this defense.
Yeah, well, they've got a self-destruct to do it, so that'll at least buy them a little bit of time on the cart, as will Apudo's pick onto TYG. A nice kill on the Mercy there, but it gets responded to, and Rocket, both Mercies, not able to Guardian Angel their way to safety.
Apudo may have saved this one for Mega right now, because aside from the kills coming up from Apudo, Mega was, and that was a nice shot too. Mega was not really responding to the kills coming up from Talon Esports. It was looking very Talon favored until Apudo really started hitting those shots. So Mega can be thankful for that, at least for the time being. They do give themselves another opportunity to defend, but still a lot of time. Now they don't have Apudo.
No, NZNR's finally gotten off that Mei for the double snipers, and it's Rocket using the Valkyrie just to try and sustain them while Apudo gets back into the fight. Bazzi catching an arrow here, but it's not enough to take him down, and the Valkyrie means that he'll just be back up to help in no time at all, unlike Villeneuve, who takes too many Storm Arrows.
Good news here is we're about to see a potential Dragon Strike from NZNR to clean off this point if Mega do not successfully push Talon off for the time being. Pichu's Transcendence will be enough though. Persia now, Transcendence going to be ready to counter out that Dragon Strike when it does come through. Note that there's no Zarya combo, no Graviton Surge from Mushroom because he's playing a Diva. And I gotta say, on the other side as well, Kagura is also not playing a Zarya, so both of these Hanzos are going to have to do all the work on their own. NZNR is doing some work now. Storm Arrow is looking for an extra pick. And for Mega Esports, after what was mostly an unsuccessful A and B defense, has really now entrenched themselves in.
They've got a good combo coming up here, Mega. If NZNR can split them or somehow divert the Reinhardt's attention, the Winston's attention, I suppose, Tita should be able to come in here and get a big Earth Shatter off.
And that would certainly be ideal. Mega have a lot of options, and any of these options would work out quite well. As Dragon Strike on Dragon Strike, none of them will likely find anything. Bazzi already onto 2 though, and Apudo was the hero of the defense a couple of defenses ago, but with Apudo down, who's going to clutch out for Mega? Currently it's nobody. Tita didn't get to use the Earth Shatter. Bazzi has simply done way too much work, and Talon will cap out.
And even though he misses a couple of easy shots there at the end, they will manage to complete King's Row. Well, it's par for the course, I suppose. We're expecting, you know, Mega to struggle there, and they solidified a little bit at the end of that third point, but it wasn't enough.
It's simply too much of a repeat of what we saw in Oasis, which is to say, there are some good return kills when Apudo is in the mix, but if he's too pressured or if he gets killed, Talon run away with the lead. And the issue here is, while Apudo was alive, and you got to go back to that Widowmaker defense that Apudo had, which was quite successful, even trades, but all those even trades were basically coming out of Apudo. When he goes down to Bazzi, who stops Talon? No one from Mega, the other 5 members, seem to be able to clutch through to eliminate Talon Esports in such a way where, look, you don't even need to be winning a resounding team fight. You don't even need to be team wiping them. If you're even just getting even trades, your even trades will win you that defense because of your defender's advantage. But that wasn't happening for Mega. Not without Apudo.
I mean, it feels like either of the Widowmaker picks, right? I mean, NZNR was doing a good job when he bought that out. That seems to be the only way to get to Talon Esports at the moment in close quarter combat. They are the kings here. The Talon's just too sharp for these elephants.
Attackers incoming.
I guess, yeah,
30
that's
seconds.
as visually disturbing as the result of this game so far. At least if you're a Mega fan, but for Talon, it's going quite well. Somewhat expected, like we did go into this in the pre-game saying there was a high likelihood of Talon collecting a 4-0 here, and I'd say we're on track to that happening potentially because things just do not look like it's going Mega's way, and they have not been looking like it's been going Mega's way for about 3 weeks in a row now. This could be the 4th week in a row.
So Talon playing somewhat safe here. They've got 2 healers on their defense.
Mega have 1 healer.
Sorry?
I was going to say Mega have 1 healer because Pixie went down.
Yeah, they don't want to be playing a 1 healer comp, but they are right now.
Talon will force them to play a 1 healer comp, even if Mega don't like it. It's like a parent that says, you'll eat what you're given. And right now, Mega are given no chances, no quarter, no mercy. Talon Esports really want to be pressuring this attack, and this Ice Wall's actually done a good job of forcing the rotation through from Talon Esports, so actually decent adaptation. This time around, you can really say for NZNR, this is a good pick considering what Talon are running defensively.
Nice May wall. They're able to lock off that high ground position, and you see it just immediately reaps the rewards. 1 tick towards Mega here. They're now going to get up to a 2nd, and Apudo is just causing havoc up the top there.
2 ticks.
They really just, when are they going to come down and contest?
Well, that's the problem, is Talon don't want to contest. Their composition isn't built to contest the point. Their composition is built to find picks like they're finding now, and I guess when the issue is pressed and when the wall goes down, Talon Esports flood through and eventually overpower Mega, but you've got to expect that Mega should have foreseen this. Mega should have looked at that comp, said we've locked Talon out defensively, they are going to rush us onto the point, we need to be prepared, and it seems like the preparedness wasn't there for Mega.
And the 1 pick they do get, Buzzy gets resurrected, so they can't even abuse that window in the spawn times. As the Riptide comes out here over the fence, it finds 2, Peter Watt and Apudo. Oh, that's essentially another fight there, 1 for Talon, and Bazzi is getting very cocky off the back of that.
Well, the good news is the Riptide kills don't give you additional ult charge. So Talon Esports don't get to snowball that. What they do snowball is the timing.
You are really stretching for positives there, Avril.
Well, yeah, you gotta try and see the silver lining here. And the silver lining for Mega is that they still hold on to some ultimates. Blizzard about to come up online. Transcendence about to come up online. They're about to hit 5, and this time no big Riptide. Good wall again, but Mega need to take advantage of this wall. They need to take ground while the wall is available.
Apudo, 2 shots, and he is out of this one. NZNR now has the Blizzard, so if they can force Talon down
what a shot
now with a great headshot, he might just do that. He's going to freeze him in place. They can't stay on the point if they also want to avoid the Blizzard. It's one or the other.
Right now, Persia does come down. Oh, wow, that is a response from TYG. The man has done it, but Apudo, can he do even more? The answer is no. TYG has been an absolute pain for Mega to deal with, but the good news is, because the wall was already there again for NZNR, because he survived, he locks out Talon from contesting the cap, and because Mega had already 2 ticks, they collect the 3rd tick, and we are going to see the streets phase.
So Talon, they had to use, well, they didn't have to use, but they did use a lot of ultimates there at the end, so they've made some hero swaps. Like, you know, maybe that's their silver lining in this situation. 1 point over to Mega now. They get the cart rolling. 3 minutes to get through this second phase. It's not ideal, but at this point, they'll take it. They're going to keep the Mei, so that ice wall will come in handy here.
We'll see how in handy, because again, there's enough mobility for Talon to kind of just intercept. Right now, Talon are kind of in this position where they're half committing to a dive, but they're also running a junk rat, which doesn't really want to dive. So half their team wants to poke, half their team wants to dive, and well, Talon got to make up their mind.
NZN are not finding a target to lock off with that wall, at least not on their side of the fight, where he ideally could crush them. Now, they are going to find this Diva behind. That's a good start, but they don't have a Mercy during this fight, so they're going to need to close it out quick if they want to win it.
I guess the good news is because NZN is running the Mei here, Talon Esports can't commit to a full Ryan Zai composition because that would play into NZN and Mega's advantage. Instead, though, because they're playing a 50-50 comp, they are still somewhat making it work. It's not as pretty as you'd like it, but it is still operational. You know, it's like an old car that still turns on. It will get you to your destination. For Talon, that's all they need.
Just that A to B. That's all Mega's looking for right now. TYG, he's got the Riptire ready to go. We've seen a couple of these tonight that have met their mark. And this time, it's a Puto who will start off, finding that onto Persia.
Fire in the hole indeed, and I don't think this one's going to be able to be stopped by Mega. Certainly it's not going to be stopped. For Talon Esports, too easy. 5 ultimates, 2 being used. Number 6 coming up, and for Mega, seems like they've been holding on to the same ults for a long time right now. How long's that Blizzard been there? 2
kills, too easy every time from TYG. And as you say, the Blizzard has been around for a little while here, actually. Ooh, he was trying to shove the... Was that the Mercy, I think, into the ceiling there, or maybe it was the Widowmaker?
I don't even know if you can do that. Maybe.
It works sometimes.
The point is, though, Mega are running out of time considering right now. The Blizzard will attempt to catch Villeneuve, who is not going to be deterred at all. Pops a Primal Rage, double jumps the heck out of there. For Mega Esports, it's been another failed Blizzard, but can it be a sort of rescued fight here? Maybe Mushroom can pick something up, but you know, Mushroom's got very limited resources to play with himself. His team's already abandoned this push. He's now being abandoned to the Talon Esports members. And Talon are pushing further and further forward, nearly to the Mega spawn, and Mega now have run out of ultimates, basically.
I think Mega have abandoned their strategy, AVRL. It looks like a dog's breakfast.
I hope so. I hope they've abandoned the Mei, because that would probably put them in a better standing.
Yeah, they have got the Hunzo coming out here at the last moment, but with another Riptire from TYG, he's got pretty much like clockwork, 2 kills every single time he's brought this out. No.
Oh! Well, this one time, it's not going to be the case, and I'll tell you why. Inzana's onto the Hanzo, he's read that play, and just like the Ronchi animation, pops that tire out from a Hanzo Storm Arrow. Right now, Talon Esports, overtime into effect. The cart is barely moved. Even if Talon lose this, Mega cannot leave the cart. Talon can just rescue this team fight again defensively on the next choke.
How does Haru get that res in there? There's so much damage coming out on the cart, but somehow Talon will still stay there. He's trying to force them off the cart with that Dragon Strike, but the Transcendence will at least allow them to stay for a little while longer. Bazzi has found so many picks on this Widowmaker, and he continues to be a problem for Mega. It looks like Mega have dropped another map.
Who isn't a problem on this Talon Esports roster? You look at TYG and you consider he's been probably the main... the ringleader here, the main issue, the most problematic character, but the other 5 have also just been really difficult to deal with. It goes all the way down to Persia on the Zen. It's like you're a Mei wanting to Blizzard, and you can't even get the Zen because he's got a trance or he's just run away or whatever. It seems like Mega are not able to find the answers, and well, you know, Talon Esports just have the cheat sheet. They've got all the answers ready to go.
Question marks, they hang in the air, and it's pretty much clouding Mega's vision right now. There are so many of them.
And, well, I mean, it's 2 maps down already, and we're about to head into the halftime. We talked about the potential of a 4-0. We didn't talk about a fast 4-0. This is now this is getting out of hand. I mean, Mega have to reverse sweep now. We're in the sort of scenario where you're really clutching at, okay, where did Mega come back? Today they come back. This series they come back. But this series, they're 2 maps down. So now for them to really be in here, it has to be a full reverse sweep. And based on what we've seen out of Oasis and Kings Row, Talon would have to completely
capitulate.
Talon would have to implode as a team, I feel, for that to happen right now.
And, you know, it's not just this week, it's the other weeks that Mega have played as well that's just feeding into this feeling of inevitability about this series, that Mega are just, they're struggling so hard, right? I mean, NZNR on that May,
by the way,
why do you stay on that for that period of time? It's a niche pick. It's not something that you can just, you know, it's not a Tracer, it's not a Diva, it's not a Winston, it's not some pick that where you can
Genome,
put into anything.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of questions, so hopefully we'll find some answers. But to find those answers, we need to see some more maps, and those more maps will be coming up very soon. Mega and Talon Esports will continue this battle after the break. 2 maps down, 2 maps more to go. We'll see you after this.